Thoughts? Reactions?
Way better than Cats the Musical.
Way better than Cats the Musical. I agree with you there. Way better.
I love that. I don't know a ton of the Weakerthans. Every time I hear them, I think, why don't I like this band?
Yeah.
I feel like if I was left alone in a room, I'd probably write a song like that.
Sure, absolutely. Ooh, that's a good way to put it. Absolutely.
Jordan just said something I was thinking, but better than I would have said it. So yeah, like it's like from a song like that. Like I'm really interested in songwriters lately, and I just think this is a band I wish I would have known about because that's really kind of my groove right now.
Yeah. You should check out. So like I said, John K. Sampson has been touring as himself now, and in fact, the third and fourth songs, if you believe the fans, come off of his first solo album that he did. So, interesting fact, the songwriter for the Weakerthans is also an adjunct professor of creative writing at the University of British Columbia. So, yeah, very, 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 there's sometimes where meaning kind of slips for the feel of the words, tends to be a little bit more important. But, man, can he nail, like, pithy little lines. So, to get you a little bit more depressed. So this one, Plea from a cat named Virtute, and the name Virtute comes from Winnipeg's town motto, which is unum cum virtute molitorum, which means one with the strength of many.
And Virtue sounds way more Canadian than Virtue.
Yeah, exactly. So
you should do one of these with all Canadians.
I love it. Okay, we'll do that. All right, so this song came out in 2003. In 2007, they had another one. They had another album which featured a song called Virtute, the Cat Explains Her Departure. And effectively 4 years later, the owner has not gotten better. In fact, things have gotten a little bit worse, and they've gotten a little bit more into depression, like further into depression and alcohol abuse and that sort of thing. And so the cat leaves and basically goes out, like spends a winter like in the subway system, and is it has one of the most devastating chorus lines that I've ever heard. Anyway, so years and years, so that's 2007. 2016, this album comes out that John Sampson does. There's one song on that called the 17th Street Treatment Center, and it's literally a song about a dude who's doing a mandatory like 3-week drug rehab program. But also on that album is a song called Virtute at Rest, where the guy, now clean, on antidepressants, starting to like work back up, is able to open up a space in his head to have fond memories of the cat, and the cat shows up in his brain and says that she forgives him, and that she's proud that he's able to finally pull himself together. That's good. All right. On to one of Chris's picks, which...
Can I say one more thing?
Yes, absolutely.
Like from the musicality.
Yes.
I think the reason I like a song as written like that, there's a certain like oneness to all of the instrumentation and like the writing. Like the guitars, the bass, the drums are all like a wall of one big movement, and like the bass line and the guitars are moving together. And you might think, I think so often as musicians we're trying to make things super complex, which is there's a place for that, and we're
there's
trying
a lot of that tonight. Yes.
Yeah, and we're doing that, but I think sometimes just a straight ahead, great progression. When drums get loud, the guitars get loud. When the drums get soft, everything gets soft. And it's really driving, and it lays down a really great stage, no pun intended, probably pun intended, for like just great lyrics and great melody.
I love it, absolutely.
Like it's just, there's something pure about just that wall of sound.
100%. And even in there, when you get to like the big choruses, and he's usually, you've got two guitars just doing like big, heavy things, but you've got like a second one with like a fuzz pedal doing this like building like little melody on the side. And there's several places where I love their drummer. There's several places where the drummer will build something up, and it's not necessarily like a full section. It's like it just adds a little bit of extra oomph to this one point, and then it drops back out. But everyone working together, I super agree with you there. Thanks for bringing it back to musicality. And like I said, I love outros. I just love their outros. There's no more lyrical.
You're a coward if you don't have a good outro.
Do you think that that wall of sound that he's talking about is that like that just kind of seems to me like it's sort of almost typical for that late 90s and
Oh,
2000s
absolutely,
band.
absolutely. It's
And I like that sound.
Everything was still big guitars and super like layered.
But it wasn't
guitars.
like Dio singing. It was like what that guy was doing.
Yeah.
More like poetic.
Absolutely.
Coffee house type stuff with
Yeah.
these big guitars.
No, which I think is a nice juxtaposition.
Yeah.
But because if he were to try to push his singing a lot harder, it would be.
It'd be weird.
Yeah, it'd be weird, but it's almost like, it sounds like a dude who teaches creative writing, singing indie rock. Okay, we're going to move on a little bit. I wanted to do, before we get into this, our teachers love instrumental songs. So there's going to be a lot of instrumental songs, but I wanted to get another one with lyrics coming in right away. So this is one of Chris's choices. Chris sent me a list of 32 songs.
Take a pick.
I asked for two or three, and so I chose 2 or 3 from this list of 32. He'll be happy to send you that email if you want to see everything else that's in there. Or I might just make him do a whole one of these listening parties himself. So we're going to skip over to Marcus King. If you don't know him, he is a young, just amazing Southern rock blues guitarist, singer, band leader. So Southern blues rock. He's from South Carolina. He really kind of hit the scene in 2013, and he's been just doing big things since then. This song that we're going to hear is originally from 2016, although the recording, I found a live one because his band is awesome, is from 2017. Chris didn't include any thoughts, so I'm just going to give you some background of some stuff I found out. Marcus King is like 3rd generation Carolina musician. His dad was a well-known, especially in this area, blues and gospel guitarist. His grandpa was also a well-known local musician. And so he grew up in this. In fact, the first time he laid down guitar on one of his dad's records, he was 11. He decided not to finish high school and got his GED at 16 just so he could have it done and go do music. He's 21 in this video when you see it. So this song's called Rita Is Gone. And there's kind of there's a subject matter influence, and then there's a title name influence that goes into. So the subject matter influence is at the time when they were kind of writing this, he had a close family member to him pass away. It gets lighter as we go. Pass away, and he actually said that his quote is, "It's somewhat known that people in that situation kind of experience the feeling of loneliness right before they go, because it's just them that has to go through that process." He says that we're all kind of we're all kind of left alone to deal with it. And so he was kind of sitting with that idea, and the song a little bit came from that. And then at the time, he was also obsessed with a show called Dexter. It's on Showtime. Lovable serial killer, for what that's worth. And at the end of season 4, the lead character's wife dies, and her name was Rita. And he was snowed in one winter, and he was binge watching that. And when he got to the end of that 4th season, and he says, the character I cared about most, Rita, was killed off, and it gave me the idea for the name of the song. And he says he's quite stapled to that show. So that gave like the title and like the hook, but the idea itself was something he had been like experiencing through that. So he's a Southern blues guy. This has actually a lot of R&B to it because of the use of the horns.